Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Now today we are taking a look at the Hornet. There's a couple other variants of Hornets, guys. We've got a normal, we've got the Super Hornet Ghost. That's mainly used for, let's say, following, low energy signature, low weapon signature. Then you've got the Hornet Tracker. Don't really need to tell what that does, pretty obvious really. Then we've got the F7C Super Hornet, which is the two-seater fighter. And then you've got the standard Hornet, which is this one, which is the single-seater. Now we're going to have a look around some of the animations first of all. Now the thrusters on this look pretty big. This is quite a big ship, guys. Compared to the other ships, it is very big. And if you look at the character there in the middle, you sort of get an idea of how big it is. Now as a fighting ship, this is significantly bigger than the others. This is what I find. When you're sitting in the other ones, they look a lot smaller compared to this. Now you can see the maneuver thrusters look really cool. And it's got them massive Gatling guns on that side. I really like how they've done them bullets that are flying out. That looks really cool. We can fly around and see them. Actually go off in the distance as well, look. Pretty cool. Top mounted, gimbal mounted gun as well. You can see, I can rotate that around. It's pretty crazy as well. Thrusters look really, really nice. See if we can go into a different sort of angle and have a look around it. Weapons look okay, I suppose, on the top there, don't they? Inside, not a bad looking inside. We've got to look past the Hudson display, obviously, guys, because the Hudson displays are going to be swapped out for these panels, so we have to wait and see when we get that. Visibility is pretty good, to left and right. What I have found with this ship, now, the Super Hornet series is classed, obviously, as the fighter series out of all the ships. And what I found is the Hornets, for me, seems the strongest contender for the fighting. Even at the early stage without all the imbalancements. So we have a good look around here. See, I'm just pulling back now, just putting his hand back, just sort of show you that as well. Pretty cool. Oh, I can actually go look quite far back here as well. See all the controls around here, it looks very nice. Now what's going to happen further on down the line, if you've been watching the latest Star Citizen videos, they're going to make it so the button presses are actually done by hand. So, you know, if you've got to turn something on, he's going to put his hand over there and press some buttons, which I think is pretty cool, so I look forward to seeing that. Like I said, this is at the top of the class in the fighting. This has always been my sort of go-to favourite for flying, purely on the basis that there's lots of reasons. It's durable, it's tough. The aiming, it's not just the aiming, targeting system here. It's also to do with the control on the turn. That's what I find. When you're actually physically turning this ship, you feel like you're under control. What I find with a lot of the other ships, like the 300 series, they're a lot more twitchier. Now you could say, oh, why don't you go into the mouse sensitivity settings and then change some settings in there? Well, look, I did do a few tests and I set the mouse sensitivity down really sort of low and found that even at that, I couldn't get anywhere near the Hornet because I wanted that low sensitivity. You know, so it's 5 movements and you can do 5 movements and move towards your target. For me, that's what's made this a really good ship. And don't get me wrong, the Gatling guns are good. They've got good range, good penetration. They are good weapons, there's no doubt about it. And then obviously you've got your faster firing as well. The loadout on here is a perfect loadout for a fighting ship. It's got a, you know, it's a heavyweight really in its class, and it's going to be the go-to fighter. There's no doubt about it, and it deserves to have that place because it is genuinely a good ship. And I think if you're coming into the game and you solely want to do fighting or you want to do tracking, if you want to do them roles and you want to win, if you're, you know, it's fair to say that there's obviously an element of player skill there, but if you want to win, you'd probably be better off in a Hornet because it's just an all-round solid ship. That's not to say that you're actually going to get taken out by an M50 or a smaller ship if he's a better pilot, but if that better pilot was, I'm sure, was in the Hornet, he would come off on top. So statistically, it's supposed to be the top ship until the point that Star Citizen announced that something maybe changed. But maybe they don't do that. I mean, the only downside with them doing that would be If they did do that, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that would actually complain, because obviously when there were early backers getting this ship, and now it's not doing exactly what it was first advertised to do. But then again, that's the whole point of the game, so maybe that's not necessarily an issue. So what we're going to do now, guys, is jump into some Vandal Swarm, and I'll try and explain what I mean about the turning and some of the other sort of key features and benefits of having a Hornet. So, right, first of all, the turning. There's no physical stat to actually explain how the actual turning works, but the reason why I like the Hornet is because in the center of the screen you clearly have the aimer, and when you move the aimer up, which is the mouse, or depending if you're using sticks or what you're using, I find the Hornet is from the point to the highest point the cursors can go to the center point. When it's at the top, the turning speed is comfortable. What I mean, it's not only that, it's progressive between that point. So a good example is when I'm flying the M50, when I turn the mouse to its highest point up the screen, the M50 turns so fast that, you know, it's borderline impossible to aim on anything. Now you could say, oh, that's something to do with your mouse sensitivity. Now I run quite a few tests across all the ships, and I can tell you, even when I put the sensitivity on about 0.5 millimeter, I cannot get it to be in line with the Hornet. Now I'm definitely not saying further on down the line that there will be an option for us to change other settings in the game that might help us out in that area a little bit. But as it stands at the moment, my findings are that the Hornet, for me, is a better choice, because if I can control the turn, I can shoot on the turn. It just makes it a lot better experience for me. Now some of the other benefits as well, for the guys that don't know, not all the ships will have shields all the way around. Some of the ships will have shields on the front and the rear, and some ships will have shields on all four sides. And in this case, clearly, it has shields on all four sides. The regeneration of the shields after they've been damaged is very good. Taking damage on the front, they do fantastic. I mean, I think there's an instant in this video where I fly towards 2 Vandal and they absolutely nail me. And I come out the other end okay. Might have lost my shields, but not that bad. Same again with missiles. You can take a missile hit, yeah, okay, it pretty much takes out your shield. Keep in mind, guys, that the missiles we've got at the moment, we only have one type. Once we move into the different missiles types, you're about to take a bigger effect on different types of shields, different types of hull armor and all sorts. So, but as it stands at the moment, yeah, you can balance your shields without even controlling it at the moment. You could fly around, and if you get hit on the front shield goes, you could then use your rear and don't necessarily fly head to head with the target until the shield generates. And that's what I sort of do at the moment, and just try to focus on actually shooting the targets. The other option is you could use something like voice attack to reallocate your shields out. So all round, solid ship. Now we can't really talk about armor at this point and actually say that it has fantastic armor, but I get the impression, I'm not saying it's got fantastic armor, but I definitely feel that it's got better armor than the other ships that we have so far, and I'm sure most of you guys who've flown it agree. Does seem to be able to take quite a few more hits, where the other ships don't necessarily have that ability. But that's sort of understandable, because we always knew the Hornet was going to be the sort of the top fighter as such, and the other ships that really I'm comparing it to, can I really compare an M50 and a 300 series against a Hornet? Yeah, you can do to some extent. But I think you play each one of these ships slightly differently. You know, for instance, the M50, shoot and scoot. I think the 300 series for me was not necessarily shoot and scoot, but you definitely don't want to get into a real big dogfight with a couple of Vandal. You don't want to hang around for too long. You need to regenerate on heat, particularly on your weapons and your shields. So the Hornets are proper get in there, get stuck in, take out the targets, rebalance your shields, and timing in your weapon firing as well. And what I tend to do with the weapons, when I'm at range, normally about, this is a good example actually, we've got a missile lock now, it'd probably be evade. What I found is quite a few of the times, what I try to do when I play Vandal Swarm, I do hang around in the asteroid belt. because I find that you can actually go more rounds without them firing missiles at you, because when you're in the open, if you carry on in the open and they get missile locked, they're just going to nail you. And I find that the asteroid belt's a really good place to hang out. Obviously, you guys, there's a dangerous point here, and that is hitting an asteroid. Now, it's a good example there, guys. Took some mega hits on the front, and as you can see there, okay, yeah, no front and rear shields at this point in time. Here comes regen. Pretty much all back online now. I'm ready to take on another target. So, good example there. That's sort of a bit of a roundup. I mean, this is my personal preference at the end of the day, guys. I'm sure after time, the actual physical, how these ships are actually going to work further on down the line is probably going to change. But this is what sort of the findings are today and what I find each ship's flying like at the moment. Now, once we get more ships in the game, guys, I'll be doing more reviews. I've got a couple more to do, actually. I want to do the... there's a 325, I haven't done that yet. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.